Erin Chase here from $5 Dinners, and we are making a one-pot spaghetti in the Instant Pot. I've got browning the ground beef in the Instant Pot, and we are going to get started in just a few minutes with the recipe. And I wanted to say hi to those who are joining us live. So if you're catching the replay, slide it forward just a little bit while we welcome those who are here with us live. We will get to the recipe in just a minute. So hey there, Erin Chase here from $5 Dinners, and I am excited to show you this one pot recipe. I actually wrote an entire cookbook on one dish dinners, and I am super excited that you can do a lot of one dish cooking in the Instant Pot and the multi-cooker, which is a different appliance. More on that soon. So I want to share with you this recipe because it's so easy. This is the type of meal that you can get going and then you can actually go and sit on the couch for 5 minutes, right? I would love for you to like, heart, share. Let me know what you're having for dinner tonight. Share this recipe, pin it to Pinterest. I have that link here on the video. You can get that added so you can make this later. If you don't have your Instant Pot opened up yet, you should check out my Electric Pressure Cooking 101 class. It will help you get it out of the box, especially if you just unwrapped it from under the tree this past week. You can get started using it right away. I have friends who have left theirs in the box for months and months and months, but I want to help you get yours out of the box and to good use. So here we go. So what is happening? Let me switch modes here. What is happening is we have the ground beef going in here. Now, if you follow along and you saw that I had 80 pounds of ground beef from Zaycon Fresh last week that I got right before Christmas. So this is some that I just actually pulled from the freezer. So I did not brown this from fresh. I'm reheating it from frozen on saute mode. So what you do is you push saute, and then you adjust it. I did it on low because I'm reheating it, but you can hit adjust, and do it on high heat. And I just wanted to get this warmed back up. There's a few little pieces that are still kind of frozen, but for the most part, this is thawed out and warmed up and ready to go. So if you need to, you can brown your ground beef on saute mode. This isn't hot, don't worry. Be careful not to touch it if it is, obviously. Brown your ground beef in saute mode, right? Drain it off if you need to. Linda, I'm sorry about the echo. Anybody else hearing an echo, let me know. This is a pound of ground beef with a tablespoon of minced dried onion and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Just a basic, simple seasoning for the ground beef. And this, you can sort of hear it sizzling. I have it on the low mode, the low saute mode. But for the most part, this is ready to go. So what we're going to do from here is we're going to layer in 3 other ingredients. It's really simple. This is next. Then this, broke it up. Then this. It's real simple. And I'm using water. You could use chicken stock or beef stock if you want to deepen the flavor. If you want to get really crazy and do a little bit of like red wine, if you want to deepen the flavor even more of this sauce. But I'm just doing the simple, budget-friendly option here. A pound of ground beef, tablespoon of minced dried onion, teaspoon of garlic powder. Brown that up here in the Instant Pot. If you're using a fattier meat, you might need to drain it off. If you're using a lean meat, leave the fat in there. All right, so this is a jar. And I want all the sauce I can get from this jar. So I'm going to add a touch of water. This is probably about a 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to just see how magical that is. If you aren't doing this, you need to do this. You get every bit out of there. And I'm going to count this as about a 1/4 cup of my water count. Okay. So I'm actually going to hit cancel. We need to cancel the saute function. Canceled it. It should stop simmering. There we go. So we cancel the saute function because we're going to switch it over to the electric pressure cook function in just a second. Again, this is not hot. Be mindful if it is. Use an oven mitt or a pinch mitt. So we're going to do this. That's just a jar, a 26-ounce jar. And when I do spaghetti sauce in the Instant Pot, I break up the noodles, okay? So that's just my personal preference. This is an 8-quart. I'm using my 8-quart. You can do this same quantity in your 6-quart. This is a problem. Like, they don't fit even in the big 8-quart, right? So you're going to want to break them up. I'm going to break mine up into thirds. Just sprinkle into, so they don't clump. You don't want this to clump, right? So you just kind of want to break and spread. I'm going to do a pound of pasta with anywhere between 2.5 and 3 cups of water. And kind of depending on how, Joe, I'm glad you've made it. I'm glad you like it. Now you're getting a live demo. Depending on how the water sits in there, you might need to go up a little bit higher. But I'm going to give you a good rule of thumb for determining how much to add, okay? You can press it in there. You can break it up a little more. You have to have all the pieces of pasta floating underwater or you're going to get some pieces that don't cook properly. And we do not want that, okay? Don't be shy. You want to press that in there really well. All right. See, I'm going to need more. We're going to do a little bit of pressing. Elizabeth made Cajun Alfredo sauce, yum, with kielbasa and tortellini. That sounds amazing. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit more, and then I'm going to start pressing. We need to get all of this underwater. You can try and get the noodles under the sauce. I'm not going to mix them up, but I'm just going to do this. You want to get this all under the sauce. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on the pressure cook mode, high pressure manual mode. We're going to go for 6 minutes. Some models might be able to do this in 5 minutes, but I'm going to do it in 6. And when it's finished, I'll show you what it's going to look like when it's finished because we're not going to wait around. But I will show you because I have a picture of it. So there it is. Everything's more or less floating. You want it all, see there's a few guys that are kind of stray here. You want to get that all in the water as best you can. All right, and when it finishes, you're going to open it, your Instant Pot, and you're going to be like, Erin's crazy. And I'm going to be like, hang on, no, I'm not. Let me explain. So don't leave me yet. Let me explain. So we're going to put the lid on. We're going to put it on sealing mode. You want it on sealing. Can you see that? Sealing. And we're going to push. Ooh, Trisha, I'm glad you enjoyed that. We're going to push manual. We're going to adjust the time down to 6 minutes. We'll wait a few seconds for it to click on. And then it will click on. And then let me figure out how I can show you the finished, what it's going to look like. What's going to happen? Okay, so it's going to come to pressure and it is going to cook. So here's what's going to happen. Let me show you this real quick. Let's see if I can flip the screen around. My program that I use is different looking now. Ooh, perfect. Can you guys see that? So the minute that you open your Instant Pot, it's going to look like this. And you're going to be like, we added way too much water. This is the part where I was saying, like, trust me. Okay. You didn't add too much water. This happens with a lot of Instant Pot meals that you cook with sauce of some kind, or not so much super chili because that is supposed to be saucy. This is way mac and cheese, the macaroni, if you cook it in like chicken stock or something like that. It looks saucier than it actually is. So you can see here that looks pretty saucy. It looks like it's swimming, but underneath of there, it's really actually really thick. And all you have to do is give it a quick stir over. Hang on, I'm going to get to the other one just a second. You give it a quick stir over and then it looks like this. Okay. So it's not as like saucy looking as you think, if you will. Does that make sense? Are you tracking with me there? So we added, I think I added about 3.5, maybe even 4 cups of liquid. But for the 16 ounces of pasta that we added, that will get soaked up by the pasta as it's cooking. So let me do a quick recap for you. This is our 1-pot Instant Pot spaghetti. on the saute mode of the electric pressure cooker of your Instant Pot, we brown the ground beef. In my case, I just reheated some already frozen browned ground beef. You do a pound of ground beef, a tablespoon of minced red onion, a teaspoon of garlic. Once that's browned, if you're using a leaner meat, you can, if you're using a leaner meat, you probably don't need to drain it. If you're using a fattier meat, you might want to drain that. After you do that, you add in a jar of marinara sauce, whatever your preferred kind, a 26-ounce jar. Add that in. Then break up a pound of pasta noodles. You could do 12 ounces probably as well. You could do 8 ounces if you wanted to. You'll just have to adjust the liquid, just so long as it's all swimming. All the pasta needs to be swimming. So for 8 ounces, you'll probably need about 2 cups. 12 ounces, about 3 cups. 2.5 to 3 cups. 3.5 to 4 cups for a pound of pasta. So you'll kind of have to eyeball that, but you want to make sure that all the noodles, all the dry noodles are floating in the sauce. So ground beef on saute mode, cancel that, marinara sauce, broken up spaghetti noodles, and then your liquid. Chicken stock, beef stock, water. If you wanted to deepen the flavor of that red sauce and use a little bit of red wine, that's not a bad idea. If you have some on hand or if you have cooking wine, you could do that to deepen up the flavor of that sauce. The way the Instant Pot cooks and flavorizes the meat with the sauce, with the pasta, just the way that it infuses flavor, tossing a little bit of wine in here isn't going to hurt that sauce. It's going to make it amazing. So you do, let's see, let me just ballpark this for you. 2-ish cups for 8 ounces of pasta, 2.5 to 3-ish cups for 12 ounces of pasta, 3, maybe 4 cups for 16 ounces of pasta. Break that up, fan it out so it doesn't clump up, and then add the liquid so that all of the pasta is underwater. And again, you'll use the high pressure mode, the manual mode, high pressure, 5 to 6 minutes. I do 6 minutes when I'm doing a full pound. If you're doing 8 ounces, you might be able to get away with 5 minutes. If the pasta is not all the way cooked after 5 minutes, which it really should be, then just leave it in there for another minute or 2 on warm, and it will continue to cook in that really warm sauce as it's done. Now, to finish this off, that's getting it going. 6 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes. Let it naturally release for 5 minutes. That's going to give it a little bit more cook time in that warm sauce. And then open up the vent here. And then, here, let me switch this. How do I switch this? Where did my little thingy go? I don't know. Sorry. This is different setup than I'm used to. Switch this, let it naturally release for 5 minutes, switch it over to venting and let the rest of the pressure release. Then you'll see the saucy liquid on top. Give it a stir and it'll look just like that right there. And you have yourself your 1-pot spaghetti made in your Instant Pot. I've got links for you here, links to this recipe. I have a link if you want to save it on Pinterest, as well as if you're new to electric pressure cooking or the Instant Pot and you're not sure which one is right for you, be sure to check that out. And we will get, here we go. We will get you on your way. All right, let me pick up a couple comments real quick before I sign off. Let's see. I'm reading. Angela, we don't have very many vegan recipes. I don't eat that way. We have a few that are just naturally vegan because they don't have meat or eggs or fish, right? So there are a couple recipes on our website, but for the most part, we are not vegan around here. Could you make this without a pressure cooker? Wanda asks. Yes, I would do this in a Dutch oven with medium-low heat to cook the spaghetti in the liquid. So you would brown the ground beef in the Dutch oven, add the marinara, add the broken pasta noodles, add the rough liquid that I sort of roughly gave there. Make sure that the pasta is all covered, and then put the lid on and let it cook over low heat, if you will, medium low. And that way it will cook the pasta into the sauce, almost like a pasta skillet meal. With this spaghetti, with this amount of spaghetti, especially if you're doing a full pound or full 16 ounces of spaghetti, you'll want to do that in a Dutch oven. Okie doke. Is what model, Jesse? I have an Instant Pot Duo 8-quart, which is what we used here for this. I also have an Instant Pot Duo 6-quart. I don't believe that my 6-quart model is in circulation anymore. They're upgrading. So I believe the 9-in-1, the Instant Pot Duo 9-in-1 is the one that they have available now. I have the 7-in-1. But I would go with the Instant Pot Duo, depending on which size, depending on your family size. But I use them both for different things. And I like the two sizes. If you have a bigger family, I'd go with the 8-quart. Or if you're cooking at home a lot and you make a lot of dried beans, or you like to do your own cooking whole chickens, I would get an 8-quart as well. If you're, you know, a semi-home cook, like you cook a little bit at home, but you eat out a little bit more or whatnot, you might just get the 6-quart to do meals like this. Christy asks, can you do this without cooking the meat first? No, I would brown the ground beef first. I think that's what you're asking. I would brown the ground beef first so that you get the right consistency. You can see in the picture there, underneath of the little blue pinchment, you can kind of see how the meat's formed, how you want it to form in a spaghetti sauce. I haven't tried it. You could try it. If I would try it with a leaner meat, if I was going to do it without cooking the meat first. You're just going to want to break it up into little chunks and then let you could cook it all together that way. Okay, Mandy says she's got the 8-quart. I love it. Trisha says Freeze Easy's chili can be made vegetarian or vegan. Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of great tomato-based chili recipes with lots of different types of veggies in them for sure. Carrie, have you done this with gluten-free pasta and different shapes of pasta? Different shapes of pasta, yes. Have I tried this personally with gluten-free pasta? I have not. I probably wouldn't make any adjustments to it. The only thing that is a little bit different about gluten-free pasta, depending on the variety of gluten-free pasta, is some of them are starchier. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to like rinse off extra starch. And there's probably not a great way to get around that in this particular case, where you would be cooking it all in the Instant Pot. Regular pasta, gluten-y pasta. What is the word for that? Regular pasta? Gluten-y? I don't know. We're going to call it gluten-y pasta. Gluten-y pasta doesn't have a lot of that extra starch that's released, right? But it could be that gluten-free pasta cooked in an Instant Pot doesn't release starch in the same way that it does as if you boil it. So maybe you can experiment with that and let us know. I don't have any gluten-free pasta on hand, so I can't do an experiment real quick this week, but I imagine that you could try it and it would probably work out okay. You might want to try to cook pasta by itself in either water or chicken stock and then rinse it off. Somebody hashtag that. You're right on, Mandy Girl. Hashtag that, gluten-y pasta. This is my gluten-y pasta recipe for one pot spaghetti in the Instant Pot. Hey, Jessica. So anyways, all that to say, that was a lot of work. That was me. That was my train of thought for you right there. That would be my one thought is you might want to cook the gluten-free pasta by itself in water or chicken stock maybe, and then see what the starch release is. I think you know what I'm talking about. I think, Carrie, I think you know. And then you might need to rinse it and then add it in with another sauce. But the electric pressure cooker might cook the pasta slightly differently so that not as much starch is released. Okay, we're going to move on. All right, if you guys have any other questions, leave them here. I'll check the video throughout the evening and tomorrow. And we are totally hashtagging gluten-y pasta. Katie is chiming in and saying, do not use gluten-free pasta. It's kind of what I was thinking. As I was talking that out, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I have not tried it. Maybe search online, see if somebody's done gluten-free pasta in the Instant Pot. I personally, again, have not. So Katie's issuing a warning. All right, you guys, that's what I know. This actually will be ready here in just a few minutes. It's going to click on in just a second. I can tell by the sounds it's making. And we will have dinner ready very soon. Again, let this cook. Saute the ground beef. Add the on saute mode, turn saute mode off, add marinara, add broken noodles, add liquid, 5 minutes on high pressure, 5 to 6 minutes on high pressure. Let it naturally release for 5 minutes, then let the rest, switch it to venting, let the rest of the pressure release, and you have yourself a delicious pot of spaghetti waiting for you. And seriously, I said you have time to go put your feet up. I think I might go put my feet up for a couple minutes. It's been a long, busy day with year-end stuff, and I am excited that dinner is taking care of itself here. You guys have a great rest of your evening. Happy New Year. This is my last Dinner Made Easy show of this year, but I will be back on Sunday and Monday with 2 new goodies as we start off 2018. As we finish 2017, start off 2018, I've got lots to share with you this weekend. So stay tuned. Christy, I'll drop a link for you. All right. Have a great rest of your afternoon, and we will see you again in the new year.